We do have a lot of items that are underway right now. Some you can see, some you can't see. Some we're not real happy about, but they still have to be done. It's all part of life. But the biggest thing that we've had in the last week or so, maybe the last couple of months, is the American Rescue Plan monies that came in from the federal government. Sure. Easton received $8.2 million in August with the idea of all of the things that we could use it for. Not a lot of rules at the onset, but since then we've gotten about 50 pages of rules of how we could use it. Some of the money was used to help Easton Utilities fund their broadband projects that have a real impact on everybody in the town. We had new fire trucks that had to be replaced. And also the area around that fire truck is the planned training area for the Easton Fire Department that we plan to share also with the rest of Talbot County and the fire department, so it will be a regional type facility, so we can use that. So that's been done, and then we kind of opened it up to nonprofits, small businesses that had taken a hit during the COVID pandemic and so forth. And consequently, we've spent $8.2 million already. Right. And it doesn't take long. We have about 12 more that we have checks going out to in a few weeks. And then that pretty well depletes the money that we had. But not to be disappointed, because next August we get $8.2 million more. Okay. That's supposed to be in. That will have more impact on the nonprofits and the small businesses, because the big items we've taken care of, the infrastructure projects, the fire truck replacements and so forth. So more of the money will go into the small businesses. We did talk a little bit about the fire department. They have 2 new engines that they've put on order. They'll be in within 13 months, so probably this time next year they'll be taking the delivery of those vehicles. They're putting up a training center, and this is on the Mistletoe Hall farm out behind the current public works facility for the town of Easton. And there was a kind of an irregular piece of property there that suited them to a T. So they will do a groundbreaking within the next week or two and start actively pursuing that project. We had talked a little bit about the police department. Recruiting wise, they have 7 officers now going through the police academy at Warwick Tech down at Salisbury. Sure. They should be available in early January to graduate. Right now, knock on wood, they're all moving forward and expect to graduate on time. Excellent. So we'll have 7 new officers. Then they have to do field training and some other things. Sure. So it really be about this time next year they'll be able to go out on their own.
Does that get you to a full complement, or do you still have a
No, we're still short.
Sure.
In fact, in the last week or so, we've gotten 2 more retirement requests. So we get 7, we lose 2. We were short 5 to start with, sure. So we're just about breaking even. Sure. But we're still into a deficit right now. One of the issues they're having right now is there's a lot of activity that's kind of detrimental to being a police officer. So we're really searching to find folks that want to do this. We've increased salaries. We've reduced the time it takes to get to retirement age and so forth. So we're putting a lot of benefits in. And one of the ones that seems to work, they start the police classes in July and January. Okay. So if we get a guy in August, for instance, that wants to be a police officer, he has to wait until January before he can start. And we kind of lose them in that interim. So if we get a quality person in August, we're hiring them and give them a job so that we have them ahead of time. They can start learning the process of being a police officer. They can learn the procedures for the Easton Police Department. Sure. And we've had some luck keeping them. Hence, we've got 7 in the academy right now. Gotcha. They did have 20 applicants for the next class, but only 7 showed up for the final testing portion. So go figure why it happens and why people don't want to follow up on it, but it does happen. And on top of that, the chief has announced his retirement effective January 4th. He's a 44-year veteran of the Easton Police Department. Perfectly good job. He's been top-notch as far as I'm concerned. He works well with people. He has a good rapport with the local police agencies, and also on the state level, he's been an officer in the state organizations. We expect to replace him, but it's not going to be by January 4th. As I was telling you earlier, application advertisements went out last Thursday, and we've received about 30 replies so far, and we expect that's probably going to be up around 50 or 55 before it's over with.
Sure.
We'll use a group of police officers from the area as kind of a review board to whittle that number down to maybe 10 or 12, and then we'll go for active interviews on them. Surprised so far, no local officers have put in. The most local would be Baltimore or Washington, D.C. and PG County, those places.
Sure. But
nobody from the immediate area that you would have expected to see.
There was a discussion last night about a police cadet program.
The police cadet program is also starting, where we're looking at offering jobs to graduating seniors from high school that 18 to 20 and a half. Mm-hmm. And that's to keep them interested in police work. The town has benefits where we will have a tuition reimbursement for selected courses and so forth. So it's a good way for the kids to come right out of school, have a job that pays well, and they provide a needed service to the town of Easton. And we can use them for traffic control at accidents. We can use them crossing guards, a whole host of things that they can do. And this was one of the ideas that was brought up a few weeks ago, and we're right now finalizing what the job description should look like. So we should put that out for people to take advantage of within the next few weeks, I hope.
Sure. And if excuse me, if I read it right, you can have up to 4.
Up to 4 would be the tops that we could do, and if they don't opt to be a police officer by 21, we have to cut it off at that point. It's just not police cadet. It's not going to be a lifetime ambition, I guess. It's a good term. You do it and learn if you want to be a police officer. You learn the ropes. You know what skills are going to be needed. You can work on those skills, and then when the classes start, then you're expected to go forward. If not, then you'll have to find something else.
Sure.
What else have we talked about? Oh, paving. I know people have got to be tired of seeing us tearing up roads and what have you, but there are so many infrastructure improvements that need to be done. I've said it before, we've got a nice 300-year-old town, but I think some of the piping is 300 years old too, because it seems to be undersized in some places. It's collapsing in some other places. The Easton Utilities Group, they have a regular planned replacement program for utility lines that they don't wait for them to break. They're out replacing them every year. Sure. We finally got together and we don't pave the road and then have them tear it up with new stuff. So they're doing their replacement, and we're doing the road repairs all at the same time, so that we do it once and are done with it. This is for the next few weeks, it's going to be touch and go with streets in Easton, because the contractors will be in town and they're actively doing the paving work now.
Sure.
And hopefully have it all done. Well, they have to have it done by Waterfowl Festival. Gotcha. We can't close the center of town down for something that important, and
sure,
that brings that many people into town. The Hill Project, the town purchased 6 condemned houses a few years ago with the help of federal and state dollars to get these houses renovated, put them back on the market for home ownership for moderate to low income folks. we've done 3 of them. We have 3 to go, and we're starting on one of those as we speak. They were in the other day getting prices of what it would cost to get these houses fixed up, but they will be done. And in the meantime, the town has set up a workforce housing program with folks who own their own homes in some of these areas, but for whatever reason they're unable to make repairs like a new roof or new windows or what have you.
Sure.
And the town is able to offer low-cost grants to get that work done. And that's done from a program that was set up with several developers that they contribute to this fund as they build houses in the town. Works very well. We've done probably 17 or 18 of these grants. Okay. And we've been able to keep people who already live in the neighborhood settled down and just keep that neighborhood stabilized and not have people moving in and out all the time.
Sure.
So that's worked pretty well. My pet peeve right now is the prayer breakfast. It's coming on the 29th of October.
Sure.
Tickets are going well. We still have a few left, and we will have that at the Tidewater Inn. We have local speakers that we've had for the last couple of years. We find we have a host of people that already live in the town that have interesting backgrounds and who are willing to come up and talk for 15 or 20 minutes and get some of these things done.
Sure. So where might people look to get tickets?
Tickets are on sale here at the town office or at the Dairy Queen. Okay. They can pick them up. $15, and they get a couple of hours of great entertainment. We'll have some singers. We'll have, of course, we'll have the buffet breakfast, and we have a couple of speakers and so forth. But we try to keep it all local now.
Sure.
The Waterfowl Festival, to me, is a process the town would sorely miss if it all of a sudden wasn't there. I'm glad to see them able to really kickstart the Waterfowl Festival. They do some different things that not everybody cares for, but I tend to like them. The diving dogs, for instance, sure. The wine tasting tent, and some of those things. I think you have to keep adding new things to keep people coming back. I mean, you can only do one thing so many times before it gets to be something you don't have appeal to you. But the Waterfowl Festival, they're working very hard to keep that operation going. And I know Kevin and Margaret Enlow and some of the others have been up talking to us. And well, we're behind them 100% to keep that operation going. A lot of small businesses in town depend on that. And we're more than willing to jump in there and do whatever we can to help it out. The town is actively recruiting a human resources position. We find that we're big enough now. Some people may not realize it, but the town is really 3 businesses. We've got the town of Easton itself, which includes public works and sure. The planning and zoning and the parks and recreation guys. Then you have Easton Utilities, and everybody's aware of what they do. And then you have the sworn officers, the Easton Police Department. So we've got 3 businesses that tend to work under their own set of rules. And we're to the point now where we've got to stop that. We've got to be uniform in what we do with the salary structures, the benefit structure, and so forth. So we're actively recruiting a human resources person that if they don't pull all their hair out to start with, we'll be able to pull this together and sure. We'll all be under the same umbrella.
Are you looking to have, sounds like you're looking to have an in-person, an on-staff person rather than contracting with an HR agency?
Right now, we're actively looking for an on-staff person. And I think there's enough work for that person to do, probably more than what they can get done. But we like to have our own in-house people that do those type of things.
Sure.